I use two terms. I use sexualization and I use objectification. So sexualizing is when you view something as like sexual. That could be like masturbating to it. It could be imagining something, whatever the fuck. I don't think there's any problem with doing that to anybody. Knock yourself about sexualizing things as much as you want. I don't think that's a problem. Objectification occurs, in my mind, objectification occurs when you make your sexualization of somebody their problem. So if I see a hot girl at the gym, I'm like, damn, she's fucking hot. I like that. Like, that's fine. But if I walk up to her and I start like hitting on her or being really obnoxious, well, that's not okay, because I've gone from sexualizing her to treating her like a sexual object. I'm like objectifying her. So I think sexualizing anybody you want is okay. Just don't like be creepy or weird about it. Don't like make them aware of it. Don't make it their problem, and don't act on that in a way that the other person wouldn't want you to.
So there's a thread of online red pill that says that creepy is a sexual advance that is just from a man who is undesirable. So like, how do, if that is the case, which maybe you don't think it is, is there better or more actionable advice than don't be creepy for those guys who don't know how to engage without triggering that creepy response?
Yeah, this is something I'm working on. Come back to me in like fucking in June and I'll have like a better answer to this. But I need to, the problem is I'm pretty sure you probably develop a lot of your socialization skills probably by the time you're like 14 or 15. And then you kind of like iterate and refine on them going through high school and college. But like, if you're getting a guy that's like 22 and they're asking you like, how do I not be creepy? Like, I don't know. Like, I can tell. I think if you're a socially adept person, you can tell immediately if it's creepy or not, right? If I go up to a girl and I say a couple things and she kind of like glances to the side, or she's got like the laser vision where she's just like looking on her phone and not talking to me, like I immediately like, okay, this person does not want to talk to me. Like I'm cringing at myself, and you walk away. But I've seen other guys that will lean into those conversations so hard. And it's like, bro, do you not see how fucking awkward this is right now? It's hard to coach somebody on like how to not be creepy. I feel like there is there's a bubble of awareness that you can have about how other people think or feel. And if you have that, it helps you socially. And if you haven't developed that, you're going to be lost at sea. Like, I can tell pretty reasonably, like how good of a time is the person I'm with having right now? How do they feel about me? How do they feel about themselves? How do they feel about the night? This conversation I'm having, this stranger at the gym. Like, I have a pretty good intuitive sense of like how they feel. I can tell by their body language towards me. Are they receptive? Are they laughing? Are they making eye contact? Or are they kind of like cutting me off? Are they being like very short, very curt, kind of like looking at their phone the whole time, not making eye contact, trying to like move around, right? Versus somebody that's like trying to stay in your butt. Like but I can't give you like a list of these. Like here's like 15 sites, right? It's just like a developed intuitive sense of like being around other bodies and being around other people and kind of figuring out like, this person likes me, this person probably doesn't like me very much. I don't know how to sell that to somebody in like a 2-minute blurb of like, this is how you learn how to not be creepy.
You're making me realize. I mean, so I've got this channel, Charisma on Command. I did coaching. It started related to dating.
Okay, yeah.
And no, so I mean, you're actually just. I realized that I actually had that highly developed. It was hair trigger sensitive to the degree where I was so shy. You know what I mean? Because I was always, I creeped him. Like I didn't want to talk to anybody because there was that fear. And the people who I was able to help were people like me who came with perhaps an oversensitive. You know, and it's like, look, you can hang in there a little bit longer. You could say hi. Like they're not immediately wanting to get rid of you. The people that I struggled with were the people that you're describing who did not have that and would just creep people out. And I did not know how to communicate to them. You got to get out of there. Like this is not going well. You are bothering this person, and it made me change the business and change who we focused on, because I found that what you're describing, if you did not come with some sort of intuitive sense, some baseline intuitive sense, and we were instead working on shyness and overcoming that and being more confident, it was impossible for me, at least, to help you. And I don't have the answer to for some of those guys who have been left behind, which I think is a shame, because we like you said, we can't leave people behind just the same way we can't leave the homeless people. You leave this huge cohort of guys behind, or even a small cohort, it becomes a problem.
There are things that we do that become automated processes, and we don't realize how complicated they are. Like walking is an incredibly complicated interaction between so many different, your proprioception of where your limbs are, the balance that exists inside your inner ear, all of these different muscle groups that are coordinating. It's like walking is, you're not actually dragging anything. You're falling forward and catching yourself while lifting your back foot at the same time, and you're doing all of this. If you were to try to explain to somebody like how to walk, it's actually incredibly complicated. It wouldn't surprise me if there's more than like 60 or 70 different muscles from your toes to your shoulders in terms of like how do you actually walk. So like you either learn to walk and you do it and you coordinate all of it, or you can't. And then trying to explain that from the ground up is so complicated. And yeah, I want to think about this more because I don't like that I don't have a good answer, because the red pill guys will talk all day about like, oh, you need to do this and blah, blah. It's like bullshit. I don't think that works. But if I don't have an answer, I mean, why would you listen to me on it? Yeah, I don't know. I'll try to figure this out more, but I don't have a good answer. I just know that when I'm talking to people, I'm never thinking like, okay, I need to ask these 4 questions. I need to make sure that I maintain enough eye contact, but not too much that it's creepy. I need to laugh and touch your shoulder. I'm never thinking of that. All of it is like incredibly intuitive to where like, if you ask me like, how does this person feel? Like, oh, I think she's having a really good time. She likes my jokes. I'm paying attention. I've asked her really interesting questions. Like I just have like a back and forth that I feel very intuitively. And yeah, that's not sad. That's a shitty answer to anybody. Oh, you just got to feel it out, dude. Be yourself. Like that doesn't work, because if that worked, obviously they wouldn't be coming to you for fucking advice.
Well, what I was luckily able to do, I mean, you're like, I never thought of that. I was like, oh shit, I fucking did. That was, I wasn't that in my head. But what I was able to do was, I think I had a baseline of intuitive human understanding, but it was underdeveloped. And I had to think of one thing that I was going to do in conversation. It could only be one thing. If it ever became more than like, hey, I'm going to do this, and then it became totally robotic and you lost that connection. But in terms of just moving one thing at a time, which is, I don't know, you're making shitty eye contact, like stop looking at your feet, or like make sure to stay in conversation with that barista or that Uber driver for 1 sentence longer than you feel comfortable for, because otherwise you'll just run away at the first sign of silence in a conversation. Like those little things over time worked very well for me, and I think they work well for our audience. But yeah, I have not been able to do the person that was starting from like, I don't get it at all. I cannot feel what's going on here.
Yeah, what you're saying, I mean, sounds like how you would train any skill. That sounds correct. You're not going to take a creep and turn them into a fucking suave, seduction artist one time. It's going to be with like, take a small fucking thing, and then like ingrain that so deep into yourself that you don't have to think about that thing anymore. And then we'll give you like another strategy, right?
Yeah.
Stop talking so fucking much in a conversation and let the other person answer a question, right? Don't try to cut them off. Like focus on that for like 3 conversations. And then the next one, practice complimenting something that's not creepy, right? Compliment something that somebody put effort into, not a body feature, right? So like your hair looks really nice is a lot different than like you have nice eyes, right? Or your dresses are like cheat codes for women. Anytime a woman wears a dress, you can always say, oh my God, that's such a cute dress. And every woman will like it no matter what, because they don't usually wear dresses, like stuff like that. Yeah. Building like little things like that into your repertoire, and then practice them until they become second nature. So you don't have to think about them, because I would imagine at this point, or I could be wrong, but I'm guessing that when you talk to people, you're probably not going through all these checklists now, because you already did all that. And now it's just kind of like part of how you interact with somebody, right?
Yes. And now it truly is, it is the cliche advice of be yourself is what I tell myself most often.
But like that's because you've crafted yourself.
Exactly.
Into,
and it's for whom am I giving advice? And it's like, because be yourself is the most obnoxious, shitty advice that you can offer to someone who is really struggling.
Exactly. Yeah.
But it's also the most deeply true. And so I feel like, I have tried, I will not take down the old videos, even though I might not give some of the same advice now, because I recognize that they are for a certain person at a certain time in their life. Though if you ask me today, I'm likely to say, take deep breaths, sit quietly with yourself, see if you can still your mind and be, but that's just not useful to somebody at the beginning of their journey.
Sure.